What's going on, everyone? So, the Los Angeles Lakers take on the Sacramento Kings today. Did a whole rant earlier. Go check that video out after this video if you didn't watch the rant video about the Lakers taking pride. I need to say the Lakers get this win. They need to take pride. Anthony Davis needs to put on the cape, fasten it up, and go, right? Take pride in this matchup. The Lakers as a whole need to take pride. Sacramento is a tough matchup for them. They got the speed guards that really put pressure on our slow, right, flat-footed guards. And that's the biggest problem that the Lakers have with Sacramento, right? It's just a bad matchup. They have all the pieces that perfectly complement all of the Lakers' flaws and holes, especially without Jared Vanderbilt and things like that. The Lakers aren't going to have Cam Reddish in this game. Jared Vanderbilt's obviously still out. Gabe Vincent's still out, right? The Lakers aren't going to have their defensive pieces. So they're going to really have to figure out how to slow down and prevent the Sacramento Kings from just getting whatever they want once again. You saw the defense schemes in the first matchup. They just didn't work. And I have a ton of concern with the Lakers defense, period. Something that I continue to express, something that I continue to highlight, because they aren't. Offensively, they've been great. Offensively, they've been brilliant. But you've seen in some of these games, when the offense starts to dry up, they have no way of stopping anybody. And teams are just running through the Lakers. And if they don't have the offense to keep pace and stay ahead, then that's where they start falling behind. Boom, offense is clicking. They jump out to a 19-point lead. All of a sudden, they can't find the bottom of the net to save their lives. And they can't stop Sacramento. Sacramento gets whatever they want the entire rest of the way and puts the Lakers in a position to where they had like a 45-point swing at one point. Like, that's ridiculous, right? So how do the Lakers match up? How would the Lakers defend the Sacramento Kings? So it's kind of what I want to touch on in this video, my sort of thought process on it. Obviously, there's a million ways that they go about it. There's several different kind of scenarios and setups that they can do. But one in particular, I actually kind of like the idea, and it's one that we have already seen. And that was the defensive scheme against the Denver Nuggets. So for those that saw the Denver matchup, you may know exactly what I'm talking about. But for those that didn't, essentially what the Lakers did, kind of what they did in the playoffs against Denver. And I think it was game 3 is where they actually made that adjustment. And they did it in game 2 towards the end, and they had some success. And then they really tried it in game 3, but at that point it was too late. And that was, they put Rui on Jokic, and then they put Anthony Davis in kind of that free safety position to where he could be the help defender, but also be the deterrent at the rim and kind of patrol and make the decisions as the playmaker, or as the defensive kind of playmaker, I guess, right? Well, it worked to an extent against Denver. The problem was at the end of the game, Denver just kind of did what Denver does. Jamal Murray turned into Michael Jordan, and Jokic just hit, the miracle shots and just put us in a bad position. But I actually think that defensive scheme would work better against Sacramento for a couple reasons. So let's break this down. So first off, Rui, he is strong enough and the lower center of gravity and imposing enough to where he can match up physicality-wise. Obviously, he's not going to be able to stop and slow down Jokic just like Sabonis. Sabonis is still going to kind of get a little bit of his way, but he can make things difficult for him. Also, Sabonis isn't Jokic, right? Sabonis is kind of like a poor man's Jokic, but he's not there. Like, Jokic is just next level. So I actually think Rui would have a little more success with Sabonis than he does with Jokic. But what it also does is it frees Anthony Davis up to be that extended help as our guards continue to get beat, right? So ideally, a couple things. One, now LeBron shifts out to the perimeter, right? As we saw with Denver. And Rui's playing at the 5 spot basically on the defensive side. Anthony Davis is playing in that 4-5 area where he can jump out to the perimeter to close out if need be, but he can also help in that free throw line extended. He's in this kind of box area, right? But he can patrol and kind of dictate on the defensive side. LeBron gets to kind of play out on the perimeter and kind of play that role, probably matching up against like a Harrison Barnes, something which I think LeBron can, right? Because Harrison Barnes, he likes to just go baseline or just shoot the three ball. LeBron can kind of just play off a little bit and then just be the closeout if Harrison Barnes starts shooting, but keep the space and recover if Harrison Barnes tries to drive. I think LeBron can handle that matchup to where it won't wear him down. And then also that allows LeBron to help on the rebounding department out on the perimeter, also be a help defender in areas and spots where need be, and kind of be a disruptor. Then you have Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell. They're kind of like the front line to try to slow down De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, Herter, whoever it is. And they can kind of now, with Anthony Davis kind of playing the free safety role, they can sag off a little bit, right? Obviously, Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox can still shoot, so you don't want to give them too much space to where they basically are just stepping in and pulling up, right? You want to kind of keep, a fair distance to where they can close out, especially D'Angelo Russell with his 6'10 wingspan. He can kind of cover a little more ground. But basically, they can do kind of like what they did against, the Denver Nuggets, where they had the little space so they weren't getting beat entirely, but they were still able to close out. And then they kind of ran like you almost saw D'Lo and Reeves in like a zone, right? So now you can kind of keep De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk in front of you. And then if you do get beat, well, now you have Anthony Davis as the help, and he can be the guy. And then also LeBron can come in and close. And you kind of just live, because you're going to have to live with somebody, right? And when you talk, like with Denver, what they did is they lived with Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon was allowed to shoot the threes, right? So you basically pick Keegan Murray or Harrison Barnes that you kind of live with. If they go off and they drop 20, fine, so be it. You live with it, right? Obviously, you can make the adjustments. Like, let's say Keegan is just shoot, because he's had games where he's just shooting the lights out. If he's doing that, then you make the adjustment and you fix it accordingly, which that falls on Darvin Ham. But if it doesn't work out, right, and it isn't beating you, or it's just he's hitting a couple, but it's not closing the gap, well, then fine, just you live with it, right? And then that way, Anthony Davis can kind of help enforce the Kings to kind of be more jump shooting, not just quick line to the basket. Like you saw De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk just getting to the rim whenever they want it. And it's because Anthony Davis, when he's on Sabonis, much like Jokic, he has too much he has to worry about, right? Because Sabonis' skill set on the block as an offensive threat is a problem, but then also his passing ability is a problem. So Anthony Davis is constantly guessing on, okay, is there somebody cutting behind me right now, or is everything in front of me? Right? Like, what is going on? Is he about to, pull up and give a little floater? Is he about to, put the footwork, do some moves to where now I got to kind of navigate that and figure it out, right? It's just a lot of different actions that Anthony Davis has to account for. Where if he's off of Sabonis and he's in that free safety role, you saw like with the Jokic matchup, when Jokic committed, Anthony Davis was able to commit. Right? He was able to be the reactionary, the blind side help, the weak side help, whatever you want to call it, right? Like he was able to kind of insert himself and react accordingly, right? And he was able to keep everything in front of him. He was able to see the entire floor. No one was getting backdoored. It was great, right? Like when it was working early on, right? And then Denver kind of made the adjustments. Getting Jamal Murray got hot, did what he needed to do. But Sacramento, you can do the same thing where Anthony Davis can commit to Sabonis based on whatever his reaction is. And then Anthony Davis is so quick and so instinctual, he'll be able to react, but he'll also be able to keep Malik Monk, De'Aaron Fox, Keegan Murray, Herter, all the guys in front of him, Mitchell, whoever. He'll be able to keep everyone in front of him and kind of control and dictate accordingly. Then on the offensive side, you get into Sabonis' chest, you get him into foul trouble, and you get him out the game, and all of a sudden we can run away with that. Again, there are several ways that they can operate on the defensive side of things, but personally, I think that the Lakers should look to that route, where LeBron is the help out on the perimeter, kind of, gauging and also being the like kind of closer. He basically has like almost like a zone right? He's patrolling this zone, right? And then you have D'Lo and Reeves doing the same thing out on the perimeter, and then you have Anthony Davis in that like free safety, and then you have Rui as the defensive man. If you put Hayes in, have Hayes be the defensive man, right? And you kind of go that route. And again, if you need to, you adjust accordingly. Okay, we're getting beat here. Let's fix this. Let's correct this here. And you just kind of scatter it through there. That, I think, could have a lot of success. And I'm actually surprised that Darvin Ham didn't actually try that in the previous matchup when it had success against Denver. Obviously, it wasn't like this huge success, but you would think it would have a little bit more success against Sacramento, maybe to a point where it could be impactful. I would at least try it, and then you adjust, again, as need be, which that falls on to Darvin Ham, because Darvin Ham, he's just not the best adjuster game to game and making those little tweaks. But we'll see. Time will tell. But anyway, just kind of wanted to do a breakdown on the defense side of things on the Lakers. And, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass a question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? So another kind of defensive approach that you would take. Just thought I'd kind of break this down, kind of use my hands as visual aid. But yeah, again, love your thoughts, opinions, however you feel, down in the comments below. We got to get this win. Whatever ends up happening, we have to win this game. Have to. But love your thoughts and opinions. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Now subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.